Yavapai Broadcasting and the City of Cottonwood proudly present Inside Cottonwood, an inside look at the decisions and issues of the City of Cottonwood. Brought to you by Arizona Smile Designers.
Making the good life better for the City of Cottonwood has gotten a little easier with the addition of the Recreation Center. With summer temperatures soaring, now is the perfect time to come down and take advantage of some of the amenities the center and the department has to offer. Good morning and welcome to Inside Cottonwood. My name is Jason Little, Recreation Manager for the City of Cottonwood. With me today I have Mr. Jack Teal, Head Lifeguard for the City of Cottonwood. And we're here today to talk about the aquatics program. Welcome, Jack.
Morning.
Jack, it's getting hot outside. I heard it's supposed to be the hottest day ever today or tomorrow. Big heat wave.
Yeah, it's really hot, man. It's starting to get pretty up there. So.
And how's attendance looking in your pools?
It's fantastic. Yesterday in the outdoor pool, we had 121 people as of 2 o'clock. And in the indoor pool, we're steady as always with all the younger children and things like that. So
that's great. It really gives the parents an option now. Like, you know, I mean, if you have younger kids, you can come in and play in the zero depth entry beach part.
Yeah.
Older kids can go outside, which kind of gives you a separation too.
Yeah, it's really nice because, like you said, you know, we have the two separate facilities. So a lot of the indoor stuff is targeted towards the younger children that may not be as great as swimmers as some of the older ones. And it helps to split, you know, the amount of people we have in the facilities. So neither pool is overwhelmed too many times. So.
Well, there is a disadvantage too, though. If you split it, that means you're splitting your guards too.
Yes, we do. So there's a couple drawbacks from it, but I think overall, you know, I think it's a good setup.
Jack, just for the audience, a lot of people don't know you've been involved in aquatics a long time. They show up when the pool opens and swim. There's a lot that goes into getting and prepping the pool prior to the season opening. I guess my question's two-part. One, when did the pool open? And secondarily, when did you have to start preparations for getting the pool up and running?
Well, the pool opened to the public May 26th, but I probably initially I started back in January, starting to pull leaves out, get the pool ready for its first clean and things like that. And then I really started getting into it mid-April, and then I really started getting into it the 3rd of May is when we started turning on the heaters and things like that, getting ready for operational hours. So.
That's fantastic. I know that there are hours of operation, and when the summer rolls around, you have different hours because, of course, you have an influx of people coming for the summer because school's out. Mm-hmm. What are your current hours of operations for the outdoor pool?
Well, typically Monday through Friday, it's 10:45 to 6, with 10:45 to 12:15 being adult lap swim Monday through Thursday, and 10:45 to 12 being adult lap swim on Friday. Additionally, Monday through Saturday, we have a 5 to 6 adult lap swim. In between those times, they're filled with recreational swim and therapeutic swim. And then on Sunday, it's adult lap swim 11 to 12, and then 12 to 5 for rec swim. I can go all day about the hours. It's really confusing, but if you guys ever have any questions, you can always contact the front desk for all operational hours.
Thanks for that information, Jack. You mentioned briefly that you have adult lap swim. What's the pricing on adult lap swim?
Adult lap swim is probably one of the biggest highlights for the retirement community and some of the older patrons that like to come use the facility, and it's really reasonably priced. It's $250 per day pass, or you can buy a 10-visit pass at $20. And in addition to that, if you already have a membership with the Recreation Center, that does transfer over to the outdoor pool to where you can just go out there and scan in as well.
That's amazing. So you're telling me that you can buy a pass for the Recreation Center and it applies to the outdoor pool, essentially everything right there on the campus?
Absolutely, yeah. It's all under one big umbrella, more or less. You know?
Okay, let's say you are running a little tight on your budget for the week. Is there a different price break for just the outdoor pool?
Yes, there is. Just the outdoor pool. If you wanted to just buy the day pass out there, it's $250 for the adults, like I'd previously mentioned, and only $1.50 for the kids. So compared to the indoor cost, if you just want to use the outdoor facility, I mean, there's a good way to trim your budget right there.
Unlike school, when kids are clinging to get out. Come 12 o'clock every day, they're banging on your gates to get in.
Yeah.
Typically 12 to 4, 12:15, what'd you say it was for recreation
Rec swim is typically 12:30 to 4. You'll always be safe coming at that time.
Okay, for the adults who don't necessarily want to get involved in that, what other special interest classes do you have?
We offer a couple aquatics classes in the outdoor pool, like aquatics for seniors. We've got some water aerobics classes. We've got some deep water classes. So the outdoor pool is filled with a bunch of special interest courses. We do have therapeutic swim for people rehabbing injuries and things like that. But yeah, we've got a couple things going on out there.
And just for clarification, all of that's encompassed in that membership?
Absolutely.
The classes too?
Yeah, all the classes. The classes are an additional $2 for the aquatics classes, but
that's a great deal, smoking deal.
A smoking deal.
Yeah. You mentioned therapeutic swim. Can you explain to the audience what therapeutic swim is and who is eligible?
Therapeutic swim is a time set aside Monday through Thursday from 4 to 5 where we allow any special needs swimmers to come in, get some extra working time in, anyone rehabbing any muscle injuries, joints injuries, things like that. It's a really relaxed time. You go at your own pace. You've got more or less the whole pool to use to your advantage. So it's a really nice little thing. We give everyone an hour to go in there, rehab, walk around the water. The water creates a really low resistance workout with high reward. So it's really good and easy on all your muscles and joints and things like that. And it's just a fantastic way to rehab from any injuries.
That's great. I understand, and I know you're the boss man down there, but your knowledge, skills, and responsibilities far beyond just aquatics. You also do some special event programming.
Yeah.
Summer dive-in movies, and you have a summer luau. What are the dates for those events?
The summer dive-in movies, we have 3. To sum it up, it's every second Saturday of June, July, and August. The dates are, I believe, June 9th, July 14th, and August 11th for the dive-in movies. And then also August 11th is a really big day, so highlight it on your calendars, because not only do we have the dive-in movie that night, we've got the summer luau sponsored by Fit Kids coming in that day too. So it's going to be a really fun day outdoors, August 11th.
The content of the luau in the program, it's changed substantially from when you and I used to do it. It's more health-centered, as you mentioned, Fit Kids, and the mayor is also a co-sponsor of the event. What can you tell us about that program specifically?
Well, like you had said, it's become more oriented towards health and fitness. And last year, they had a fantastic cook, I forget his name, but he came over from the hospital and he grilled up some food, showed everyone in the audience how to, eat healthier, cooked up some chicken, put them on kebabs with some vegetables and things like that. But like you just said, it has become more health-oriented to help raise awareness in the community and help keep not only ourselves but our youth better in shape, So it's a really good program.
So we'll share acknowledgments where they're due, and it's Dr. Pico, I believe.
Yeah, Dr. Pico, yes.
How he's involved with the hospital, but I know that's who does it. When does the pool close?
The pool closes Labor Day, and I believe that is September 4th this year, September 3rd or September 4th, the outdoor pool.
As we mentioned earlier, the hours, they kind of fluctuate. I know when they go back to school, the hours kind of change. Can you tell us what the hours are once the kids go back to school for the outdoor pool?
We go into what we call reduced hours. And what that is we just don't offer as much rec swim time during the day because all the kids are back in school and we just don't have the big body that we typically would. So we switch that and we open typically at 4 o'clock and we'll stay open till around 8-ish in the outdoor pool. That's all tentative right now. We haven't set on anything just yet, but.
Okay. I know that 2 years ago the pool was refurbished and it's substantially deeper to meet specific guidelines that we had to follow. If you're a parent, you're bringing your child to the outdoor pool, since it is a lot deeper, how do you and your guards monitor and decide who can swim alone, and are there any stipulations?
Yeah, first off, we do have the deep areas sectioned off. So the pool's kind of broken down into different areas, and we've signified, the deeper areas, the shallower areas, and things like that. And as you mentioned, the pool has gotten deeper. Over by the diving blocks, it's 7 feet rather than 5. And now there's a steeper decline in the pool. It goes, rapidly from 5 feet all the way down to 11 feet with the diving board. Some of the stipulations, before we let anyone go over into the deep end, they have to be able to swim across one length of the entire pool without stopping. That means you can't put your feet on the ground, you can't be struggling to get through the pool. You got to be able to have consistent movement from one end of the pool all the way to the other before we allow you to go over and use the diving board and things like that. Typically, we ask that they be 13 years of age before they're left alone at the facility. But our lifeguards are really good and attentive, making sure that everyone's able to meet the requirements before they let them go over to the deep end.
That's great. And speaking of consistent movement, it's time to consistently move to our first break. Jack, could you lead us into a break and let us know, give us a phone number whereby someone could call and ask for hours, rates, or any other questions they might have?
Yeah, absolutely. For any additional information or anything you guys want to expand upon, you can call our front desk. The ladies at the front desk are amazing. They're able to help you with almost any information that you need, and that number is 928-639-3200.
Talking Aquatics, go grab your coffee and meet us back here in a minute.
Meet the team at Arizona Smile Designers, offering complete, comprehensive, restorative, and aesthetic dentistry. Dr. Vergara and Dr. Lord specialize in dental health, implants, and cosmetic dental procedures. Expert staff and state-of-the-art equipment bring forth the most from your smile. Dr. Ripplinger conveniently comes to Arizona Smile Designers for oral surgery and complicated procedures. Visit Arizona Smile Designers at 350 South Willard in Cottonwood. Insurance and new patients are welcome. Call 634-8610.
Good morning and welcome back to the show. Jason Little, Recreation Manager with the City of Cottonwood, Parks and Recreation Edition, talking with Jack Teal, Head Lifeguard, about the aquatics program and all the amenities we have at the Recreation Center and outdoor pool. Welcome back, Jack.
How's it going?
Jack, prior to going to break, we were talking about the pool and stipulations that you have to make sure that kids can and are able to use the diving board and swim in the deeper areas. Another question, and I don't want to necessarily use the word contention, bone of contention that comes up with parents, but we have age specs on the pool because a lot of parents are really busy in the summer. We understand school's out. You're looking for something for your child to do, and they just want to drop their kids off at the pool. What are the stipulations as it pertains to age and height that dictates who can come to the pool by themselves and who needs to be with a guardian? And I guess the third part of the question, how old must that guardian be to bring someone to the pool?
In a perfect world, we'd like everyone to be accompanied by an adult. We understand that, in today's economy, it's not always easy to be able to accompany your children to the pool. So we ask that they at least be 13 years of age before you drop them off, or very minimum be accompanied by at least a 13-year-old. We really would like someone there 18 years older, because if something were to happen, we need to be able to get consent from a guardian before we're able to help the child. If they're not there, it's obviously implied consent and we're able to do it. But first and foremost, we always want to make sure we get consent. So we would really like people 18 years or older to be there. But we'll get away with 13-year-olds accompanying younger children. The height requirement, we ask that they at least be 4 feet, because the shallowest part in our pools are 3 feet 6 inches. So we want them to be able to have their heads above water at all times if they're going to be there alone. So.
Great answer, Jack. And speaking of consent, I'd like to kind of segue into a little bit more about yourself and some of your certifications and our parent/oversight agency, the American Red Cross. I guess for starters, how long have you been working with the Red Cross, and what certifications do you carry?
I have been with the Red Cross for 8 years now. During that time, I've held just regular lifeguard certifications. I've held lifeguard instructor certifications where I train the lifeguards, oxygen administrator certifications, first aid, CPR, both of those, and instructors. water safety instructor or water safety instructor trainer. I've held numerous different spots or hats, as you would say, underneath the American Red Cross, and currently I am one of only 2 WSITs, water safety instructor trainers, in all of northern Arizona.
Well, let me rephrase the question then. What have you not attained yet?
There's still a couple places for me to go, but really I've covered almost everything you can cover with water.
That's
anything
fair.
Pertaining to aquatics.
And you're also in school right now too.
I am.
That's great. A lot of people understand and they are familiar with the Red Cross in the capacity of helping out with natural disasters like Hurricane Katrina, forest fires, and things like that. How is the swim community in our town here affected by the Red Cross?
Well, because we teach underneath the Red Cross course curriculum, we're effectively using all the information that the Red Cross studies, and they do yearly research and things like that, finding out, the best ways and the best techniques and things to get the information out there, and how to implement them into their course curriculum. So, they do all the work putting this stuff together. They put in their time, they do the diligent research, and, we're able to use that and implement that into our Learn to Swim program. So everything that we're passing on through to the kids is effectively coming from the American Red Cross. So in every bit of our swim lessons, each one of those kids is learning from the Red Cross. So, they really help educate our youth in our Learn to Swim lessons how to be safe in, on, and around the water.
Per census data, there's a little over 11,000 people, excuse me, that live in the city of Cottonwood limits. Mm-hmm. You have a service population substantially larger than that. You run one of the largest Learn to Swim programs in northern Arizona. I know typically between 400 to 700 kids will go through that program every year. Is there an age requirement on the swim lessons?
There is. We ask that all participants be between the ages of 3 and 15 years of age. There's a little bit of wiggle room depending on the maturity of the child, but really we try to keep it between that 3 and 15 age mark.
That's great. Now, I understand you also offer multiple levels. Mm-hmm. How many levels are there?
We've got a fantastic Learn to Swim program, and currently we offer 4 different levels, starting from level 1 going up to level 4. And then after level 4, typically the children go on to what would be the Cottonwood Clippers to help expand on what they've learned in swim lessons.
I'll use your word of the day, wiggle room there. Parents, when they come to sign their children up for swim lessons, they read just a brief synopsis, probably a paragraph or 2 long, as to what class they should put their child in. If they are, for some reason, put in the wrong class, how can you manipulate the system to find something challenging enough for that child?
Well, like I said, it just depends on where they're at and the maturity level of them. Say you put a kid into level 1 who's 7 years old, but it's his first time in the water. We always start out in level 1 to see where they're at. Level 1 is water discovery, learning about the water, having fun in the water. And if that's, too advanced, or if that's not advanced enough for any children, we see what we can do to maybe move them up to a different level to where they should be, providing that there's room in other classes. So
that's great. And for parents who have not or yet to be involved in the program, for that discovery program, it's really hard to get into unless you sign up early.
The level 1s is by far our most popular. Well, I can't say most popular. It just happens to be the one with the biggest turnouts all the time, but I think that's more, I think that has to do more with how many people wanting to take that level. So yes, I'd say sign up the first time you can sign up, The day that it opens up, we typically get 10 to 15 people. So already right now, our first session 1 from 10 to 10:30, I believe it is already full, and that starts on Tuesday, and the whole session's already full for level 1.
Well, thanks for that. I was going to segue into that with my next question. So it sounds like you might be a little too late right now to sign up for session 1.
Yeah.
How many sessions do you run? And for planning purposes, what days of the week are those sessions?
We run 4 different sessions. You know, they're time spans of 2 weeks where we go 10 days. The first week starts on that Tuesday and then finishes up that Saturday. And then we'll start back up on Monday and go through Friday. So you get 10 days of swimming in half-an-hour increments.
That's great. 10 days of swimming. Jack, it's time for that second break. Can you give the audience a telephone number or a website they can check out in case they're interested in signing their kids up for swim lessons this summer?
Yeah, you can always call the front desk again at 639-3200, or you can go to the City of Cottonwood's webpage, and all the information should be on there underneath. I forget the web address right now. It's the Park and Recreation.
CottonwoodAZ.gov.
CottonwoodAZ.gov. There you go. Thanks for that, Jason.
You're welcome. Check it out, www.cottonwoodaz.gov, Parks and Recreation tab, or give us a call at front desk, 639-3200. We'll see you after the break.
Meet the team at Arizona Smile Designers, offering complete comprehensive, restorative, and aesthetic dentistry. Dr. Vergara and Dr. Lord specialize in dental health, implants, and cosmetic dental procedures. Expert staff and state-of-the-art equipment bring forth the most from your smile. Dr. Ripplinger conveniently comes to Arizona Smile Designers for oral surgery and complicated procedures. Visit Arizona Smile Designers at 350 South Willard in Cottonwood. Insurance and new patients are welcome. Call 634-8610.
Thousands of fires across the United States are caused by careless people. Hi, I'm Fire Marshal Rick Contreras with the Cottonwood Fire Department. The major threat of human-caused fires are from burning debris that get out of control or improperly extinguished or unattended campfires. Remember that fireworks have no place on our wildlands. Become part of the solution. Learn more about proper fire safety by contacting the local fire department.
Good morning and welcome back to Inside Cottonwood Parks and Recreation Edition, the show that keeps you in the know of everything happening here in the Verde Valley. Today we're talking about aquatics, indoor pools, outdoor pools, swim lessons, summer luau's, and dive-in movies. With me today I have Jack Teal. Welcome back, Jack.
Glad to be back.
Prior to going to break, we were talking about swim lessons, and I guess I put the cart before the horse. I guess the first question everyone would probably have is, what's the pricing for the swim lessons, Jack?
It is $35 for the first child, and any additional child for the same session, you get $30.
That's fantastic. And I don't know if necessarily if it's you or the Red Cross, probably both, but you mandate a strict ratio of lifeguard to child. I think it's 1 to 10.
Yes.
Is that what you do?
Yeah.
Okay, what information can you give us for parents who might want to put their kids in private lessons? Is there anyone available to do that, or is there any contact information you would have that you could give to the audience out there?
You know, private lessons are exactly that. They're private lessons. Even though you would be using an instructor that the City of Cottonwood employs typically, it's not run on behalf of the City of Cottonwood. So you would effectively be not necessarily contracting, but you'd be getting a private swim instructor like myself or some of our WSIs there, you know, and you would discuss the prices that they want to charge. You guys can meet somewhere on what you feel is comparable for both of you. But you can always contact me at my office at the Rec Center at 928-639-3200, extension 3218, and I'd be more than happy to help set you up with an instructor that fits what you're looking for.
And I'm assuming your price range is $50 an hour?
Mine is, because of my certifications, I'm pretty high up there, but typically we can find reasonable rates for it.
That's great. And one thing I pride myself on, and the department, as well as I know you do, is certifications that these lifeguards carry. What kind of certifications do they have to be able to teach swim lessons?
We ask that all of our swim instructors already be lifeguard certified. In addition to that, they have to go through a week-long course, a water safety instructor course that teaches them, you know, how to be an effective class manager, how to get information across effectively, and how to deal with some of the situations that may arise in these. So it's a week-long, I don't want to use the word grueling, but it's a tedious course that requires a lot and has a lot of information that you have to retain. So it's a really good program. I am the instructor for that, so I have pretty strict obligations that I want them to meet before we put them into a water safety instructor role.
That's great. And then I think another thing a lot of people don't understand is there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. How do you or the Red Cross keep records for the children who go through the program?
Record keeping is my absolute favorite part of this whole thing. With, like you mentioned before, 400 to 700 kids, the record keeping can get crazy. But after every session, each one of our instructors has to fill out a course record, and then I will take that course record and I'll enter it not only into a computer for my records, but I have to turn in each record for every class that is taught to the American Red Cross. So every 2 weeks, I have 100+ kids that I have to put into a database and turn into the Red Cross. So they keep records, I keep records. The Red Cross doesn't always keep records of the names because that's up to the instructor. And when you're dealing with 400 to 700 kids, it's hard to type in every single person's name. It would take forever. So we turn in the total number of kids, what level, and things like that. So,
unfortunately for you in our department, some people have a routine.
Yes.
Hours change, unfortunately, like we discussed earlier. As it pertains to the indoor pool, what are the new, or I guess I'll use the term summer hours for the indoor pool?
Yeah, well, the summer hours we put into effect, I believe it was May 25th, we went into our summer hours. The reason we do that is because during the summer we have to have our level 1 lessons inside because the outdoor pool, we no longer have the kiddie pool. Luckily, we've been blessed with the rec center, which provides us a fantastic place to teach our level 1s, and that starts at 10 a.m. So our summer hours, we pushed back our recreational programming to 10 o'clock, so it encompasses from 10 to 1, so we can fit our swim lessons inside of there. And then to make up for that hour we pushed back, we extended an hour when we closed. So we're open now until 9 o'clock at night. So the hour that they lose for free swim at 10 o'clock, we make up for it by adding that additional hour from 8 to 9.
That's a great idea. I like that. A lot of people don't understand and they don't realize what our jobs entail and how I personally have 110 part-time people that work underneath me. Mm-hmm. And being said, 40 of those work underneath you, probably, give or take. Yeah. You have a lot of new faces and you hire a lot of summer help. Yeah. Who are some of the new summer helpers, who are some of the new lifeguards you hired this year?
We've got, a lot of decorated athletes from Mingus, as I like to call them, our Mingus celebrities, like Tori Brawley and Emma Schrainer, probably two of the most popular faces out right now because they're state championship for track. Along with that, we've got Talon Walls, who was with tennis this year, did a really good job on tennis. I'm looking for him to be the #1 guy on the roster next year or within the upcoming years. We've got Courtney Warner and Dylan Wilbur, both decorated swimmers for Mingus. We've got a couple new cashiers. We have Jolton Larimore, who's doing a fantastic job at the Snack Shack. We just hired on Misty Jo Wagner from the college, or not from the college, from the high school as well. She's in there and she's doing a great job. And then Erin Humphreys, also another teacher from Mingus, we hired her on this year for some part-time help. So we've got a lot of great additions, a lot of great experience coming onto our staff this year, and we're looking for a really good year this year.
Jack, we only have about a minute left and we could talk about this for hours, but I just wanted to kind of focus on you once more as we end. And in 1 minute, can you tell me what some of your long-term goals for the pool are and what helps you and motivates you to reach those goals?
Some of my long-term goals, I want to keep my pool looking as new as possible, I go around and I find things, that maybe have changed a little bit since we opened, You know, I try to correct those, and that's my motivation. As I look to other pools, you know, this is my job, and just like anyone else's job, whether you're a firefighter or whether you're policing or whatever, you know, you always strive to be the best. And, you know, same concept with me. You know, I want my pools to be the best. When people come here, I want to be like, wow, this is a clean facility, you know. I want my kids to come in here and swim, you know, and that motivates me to keep it going, to make sure our facility is always tip-top.
Jack, that's what motivated me to hire you.
Yeah.
One more time, could you just give the audience a telephone number and a website address where they can check out Parks and Recreation information and specifically information about the pools?
I can do this time. It's cottonwoodaz.gov for the website, underneath Parks and Recreation for any information you want concerning swim lessons or our operational times and things like that. And as always, you know, more than happy to call the rec center. The front desks love it. Always interacting with the guest. So it's 928-639-3200.
Thanks, Jack. Thanks for being on the show. And to the audience, grab your suit, grab your towels, goggles, and sunscreen. Come on down and take a dip in the outdoor pool. We'll see you there.